Lesson 9, Chapter 14, Lymph and Immune System. Crash Course Lymph System. It's a helpful video to promote understanding of the lymph system. It is both educational and humorous. Objective number 1. Describe the generalized functions of the lymphatic system and list the primary lymphatic structures. The purpose of the lymphatic and the immune system. The lymphatic system helps to maintain fluid balance and helps the immune system. The immune system protects the body from disease-causing bacteria, transplanted foreign tissue, body cells that have become malignant or cancerous. The organs or tissues involved in the lymph and the immune system are the lymph nodes, lymph cells, thymus, spleen, tonsils, specialized cells, and lastly, molecules. Organization of the lymph system. The lymph is an interstitial fluid that has entered the lymph vessel. It is a watery fluid that escapes the circulatory system that is picked up by the lymph vessels and returned to the venous system by way of the circulatory system. Much of the interstitial fluid that is pushed out of the blood vessels returns to the blood vessels. Lymph circulates, but it is not part of the circulatory system. It can carry cancer cells that can be trapped in the lymph nodes. The lymph is a possible route of the spread of cancer. And lymph, it carries the bacteria to the lymph nodes. The lymphatic capillaries. The lymphatic capillaries are tiny blind-ended tubes distributed in tissue spaces. Lymph flows through the lymphatic capillaries, moving into larger vessels called lymph venules. Both the lymph capillaries and blood capillaries are a layer of epithelial. The lymph vessels permit only one-way movement of the lymph. They are microscopic in size. They have a poor fit between the cells, so it results in the walls being porous. Lymph vessels. So the lymph vessels are the right lymphatic duct and the thoracic duct. So the right lymphatic duct drains the lymph from the right upper extremity and right side of the head, neck, and upper torso. It drains 1/4 of the lymph before emptying into the right subclavian vein. So it only, of all the lymph that's coming back to the circulatory system, it only gives 1/4 of the amount of the lymph fluid. The thoracic duct, on the other hand, is the largest lymphatic vessel. It has an enlarged pouch along its course called the cisterna chyli, drains lymph from about 3/4 of the body before emptying into the left subclavicular vein. In review, the largest lymph vessel in the body is the thoracic duct. 3/4 of the lymph flow into the thoracic duct before emptying into the left subclavian vein. 1/4 of the lymph flow into the right lymphatic duct before it empties into the right subclavian vein. So when you look down here at the picture in the yellow and the blue, that's the two different drains that go into the circulatory system. Note that the lymphatic system is not part of the circulatory system, but works with the watery fluid that escapes the circulatory system. Lymph nodes. Lymph travels from its origin towards the thoracic or right lymphatic duct and then to the venous blood. The lymph is filtered by passing through lymph nodes. Lymph enters the lymph node through the four afferent vessels. Lymph nodes are in clusters along the pathway of the lymphatic vessel. Lymphatic tissue is a mass of lymphocytes and related cells inside the lymphoid organ. It contains phagocytic cells. It provides immune function and development of immune cells. Lymph node can be the size of a pinhead, or it could be as big as the size of a lima bean. Lymph nodes and other lymph organs have functions that include defense, underline defense, such as removing bacteria from the lymph, and the other thing that the lymph nodes do is they're part of the white blood cell formation. The function of the lymph nodes is to do biological filtration. The flow of the lymph to the node by way of the afferent lymphatic vessels and drains from the node to a single efferent lymph vessel to increase the filtration of the lymph. The breast has a unique extensive network of lymphatic drainage. This is a picture of an infected hair follicle. Note how everything lays out and works together. This is a breakdown of the lymphatic drainage of the breast. Since lymph nodes and lymph drainage are an area removing the cancer cells, one could see how the lymph system is doing its cleanup. When it's doing that, it could cause the spread of cancer. Breast cancer in this example. One of the organs involved in the lymph system is a small lymphoid tissue located in the mediastinum, and it is called the thymus. Its total weight is about 35 to 40 grams. That makes it a little more than an ounce. It plays a vital and central role in immunity. It produces T lymphocytes or T cells, critical in the functioning of the immune system. So it helps the T cells mature. The thymus secretes hormone called thymosin, which influences T cell development. Thymus tissue is gradually replaced by fat and connective tissue during childhood. Underline that, during childhood. And this process is called involution. The next lymph organs are the tonsils. The tonsils are composed of three masses of lymphoid tissue around the openings of the mouth and the throat. There is the palatine tonsil, which you'll hear most of the time called just tonsils. You have the pharyngeal tonsil, which is also known as adenoids, and the lingual tonsil. The tonsils help prevent bacteria that may invade the tissue in the area around the openings between the nasal and oral cavities. They are subject to chronic infections. Enlargement of the pharyngeal tonsils, adenoids, may impair breathing. This picture will help you identify where each tonsil is located. The palatine tonsils are located on each side of the throat. The pharyngeal tonsils are the adenoids, and they're located in the posterior root of the mouth. And the lingual tonsils are near the base of the tongue. The spleen. The spleen is the largest lymphoid organ in the body. It is located in the upper left quadrant of the abdomen, lateral to the stomach and below the diaphragm. It is often injured by trauma to the abdomen. Surgical removal is called a splenectomy, and it can lead to more frequent or serious infections. Though white pulp is the pulp-like accumulation of lymphocytes in the spleen, also serves as a reservoir for monocytes, which we know turn into what? Think about that. Which can quickly leave the spleen to help repair damaged tissue in the body. The function of the spleen is to phagocytose bacteria and filter out bacteria. Another function is the removal by mechanical or biological filtration worn out red blood cells, so we may call it the red blood cell graveyard. When doing this, it salvages the iron from the hemoglobin for future use. The spleen is also very rich in blood supply, and it is also a reservoir of blood holding about 500 milliliters.